Hey guys! Today I'm going to show you how to erase or remove paint. If you would like to skip right to the demonstration, you can go to this time, or you can enjoy the time lapse to see how this entire painting was created. For this example I used gouache, which for those of you who don't know is an opaque watercolour, but this technique will work well with any water-based medium. So I did this painting live on Twitch, and if you're interested in seeing more art streams, feel free to check me out over there. So on screen you can see where there used to be a tree, and in this final painting you can see there's basically no sign of that tree whatsoever. Now I'll just let the video play out until we get to that part. Enjoy! So here you can see I started painting in the tree. I used a much darker colour on top of the light green field behind. But basically, as soon as I painted the tree, I realised it was a mistake. But I didn't really like how it changed the composition, as for this painting I wanted the border to be more the centre of interest. However, at this point the paint had already dried completely. Okay, so now for the actual demonstration. I started by gently applying a few layers of water over the paint I wanted to remove. This was to reactivate the dry paint. Now I took a piece of tissue and gently pressed it over the wet paint. As you can see, even after the first try I managed to lift up most of the paint. I repeated this a few more times to lift up the rest of the tree until all you can see remaining is like this faintly ghostly tree. Take note that the vibrant green base layer that I had under the tree wasn't really affected. I then waited for the page to dry fully, as it was very wet now, and this is important because I didn't want to risk damaging the paper or lifting up any of the base colour. So once it was dry, I attempted to lift up the remainder of the tree to see if any more could be removed. As you can see, I almost completely removed the tree, but there's still a very slight ghostly image left of the tree. This is normal though, because some paint will just stain on the page more. But as you can see, I've removed more than enough of the paint, allowing me to paint back over it with the green grass colour. So now I will let the time lapse continue while I discuss how this method might work in other situations. So firstly, this method will vary greatly from painting to painting. It really just depends on the pigment that was used, how staining it was, and some paints just reactivate and lift better than others. In my case, the tree just happened to lift very easily, and the base colour was more staining, so it stayed in place. So you may find in another painting, you'll lift the paint all the way back to the white of the page. So here's a short clip where I painted this cathedral and I wanted to reposition a window. As you can see, this time the paint was removed to expose the white of the page, but you may notice it also left behind a lot of bluish stains. So for this situation that was fine, as I wanted to paint over it blue anyway. But it's something to bear in mind if you try this method for yourself. So you may also find that the paint you're trying to lift is very stubborn and you can barely remove anything. That's why it's important to have a plan B as well. So when I attempted to remove the tree, I didn't actually expect it was going to work so well. My aim was just to actually remove as much paint as possible, and that way I could more easily paint the grass colour back on top. I even sort of planned that if it didn't work out, I might just have to repaint the tree, but maybe try and make it look a bit better. So anyway, I hope you guys found this video useful. Like I said, if you want to see me paint live and have a chat about art and stuff in real time, feel free to find me on Twitch. Otherwise, have a great day and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.